What's good? Today we are breaking down the sample and the beat for the song So Be It by Clipse on their upcoming album Let God Sort 'Em Out. Pharrell's production on this one is just classic Clipse fashion. It's A1, and I've always enjoyed the production on the Clipse albums as well as on Pusha T's albums. So this sample is fun. It actually samples this song called Maza Akoulou by Talal Madah. And it has like the classic mafioso unorthodox Clipse production. And today I'm kind of switching it up. Instead of using Ableton, I'm going to break it all down in Logic, as well as using the Logic Remote app as essentially a MIDI controller. So let's get started. All right, so the BPM for this song is going to be at 86, and we will start with the sample. So we'll open up Serato sample here. And normally I keep it on the one where it just continues to play. This time I have it set to where you press it, and when you let go, it stops. Just because it gives you a little more control for a beat like this one. And we'll start with the sample breakdown here. So here are my sample chops. And that's pretty much the main part of the beat, and I'll kind of play it. So that's that first element. And as far as effects, the only effect I put on it was a Pro Q4, cut off some of the low end because the drums on this slap. On the original song, they cut some of the 5K just to leave room for the vocals more than likely, and cut off some of that top end too, just to give it that warm sound. And I'll let you hear it with the production here. So that's the first part of the sample. The second part of it is basically this. And again, being able to hold that makes all the difference because you can just get the timing on point. I said this in a previous video, but what kind of irks me about Serato sample, I get the idea of that continuous loop where you can just, and it keeps going. That's cool. But sometimes I just wish there was like a middle where you could just play it and it stops at the sample without me having to add like a blank pad just to get it to cut off. And so who knows, maybe they'll do that on the next update. But other than that, Serato is by far my favorite sample chop plugin by far. And I'll show you that part with the production as well. And that's it as far as the sample. Now, there's a few other elements in here that we'll get into. I typically use Sublab for my 808s just because I'm familiar with it and I know how to adjust volume and envelopes and all that stuff. With that 808, let me solo it. And so I added a spread to it. I noticed on it, Pharrell had it really wide, and then also that distortion, which this is what makes the difference. So if we cut that off and then have it in, boom, all that body, you know. We like 808s with body. In addition to that, you have the kick with it, and the kick, basically any kick will work. It's getting some of those kind of higher frequencies. And only thing I put on the kick was the knock plugin, which has like your punch, saturation, some air, and some clipper, which for most drums, this is my go-to plugin for sure. And if you hear the 808 and kick together, and then with the sample, Now, as far as the rest of the percussive elements, I grouped it, but this is the hi-hat, and it's basically just a reverse hi-hat. So just use the Logic stock quick sampler and just set it for reverse. And so this is what the hi-hat does. And in addition to that, there is a reverse clap. Same thing. And again, it acts just like a MIDI controller. And not only that, you can play on here. You can control your faders. And so I'm definitely going to be using this more, and it takes less space than my push as well. If we play those two elements together. Now for that reverse clap, added saturation, got a little bit of a spread on there just to make it a little bit wider. The hi-hat just added a tremolo, so at that last end, it kind of just moves on the right side just a little bit. And then here are those elements with the kick and 808. So definitely slaps. And what we'll do is let me see if I can perform the sample with that percussion going on here. And that's our beat. What's genius about Pharrell's production is it's super minimal, but it still sounds full, and that's what I love. And then he always has like unique percussion going on with the reverse hi-hats and the reverse clap and everything. So just being real with y'all, it's really hard to monetize these type of sample and tutorial-based videos, but I love doing them, and I think that you guys love them too. It would mean the world to me if you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to go above and beyond, then you can buy your boy a coffee with the description. Has a link in there. And as always, thanks for watching. Till next time, peace.